Jaidyn Leskie's disappearance sparked a murder investigation like no other. In 1997, Mo, a small country town, became the center of the country. It is where 13-month-old Jaidyn Leskie went missing. What follows is an unusual murder investigation. It starts with a strange attack with a pig's head and ends with the babysitter of the little boy, Greg Domaszewicz, being arrested and put on trial. Well, before we start today's story, let me introduce myself to you all. My name is Mr Storytell, and if you're a fan of true crime, horror, and other mysterious stories, then this is going to be your new favorite channel. We upload here twice a week, so please be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications so you don't miss any of our uploads. Now, let's dive into detail. Jaden Raymond Leskie was the one-year-old Australian child of Belinda Williams and Brett Leskie, who was kidnapped and killed in 1997. At the time he went missing, Jaden lived with his mother Belinda in the small Victorian town of Mo. Brett Leskie, Jaden's father, had split up with Belinda and was living in a different state at the time. And Greg Domaszewicz, who was Belinda's boyfriend, used to babysit Jaden. Jaden was with Greg Domaszewicz at his house the night he went missing, while Belinda went out with her sister. It was Domaszewicz's own request to babysit Jaden that day. Belinda thought Domaszewicz would take care of her baby all night, so she told her sister about it and the two went out. Then, later that night, Domaszewicz left his house at 2:30 a.m. to pick up Belinda from Ryan's hotel in the nearby town of Traralgon. Belinda was very drunk. Domaszewicz dropped her off at her own house at about 3 a.m. He came back at around 5 a.m. to tell Belinda that Jaden was missing and took her to the Mo police station to file a report. Domaszewicz says that Jaden was taken from his house after he left for Traralgon. He says that he left the child sleeping on the couch so he wouldn't wake up. As soon as Jaden's disappearance was reported, both local and state police launched a 20-day search for him. "Where is Jaden?" was written across front pages of newspapers across the country. However, the search was not successful because there weren't enough witnesses. Greg Domaszewicz's strange behavior on the night that Jaden went missing has been the center of attention for both media and investigators, both during and after the trial. He says that he left Jaden home alone when he went to Traralgon to get Belinda, and by the time he got back, Jaden was missing. But earlier that night, Domaszewicz called Ryan's hotel and told Belinda that Jaden had been taken to hospital for a small burn. Domaszewicz told Belinda that he had moved Jaden from Mo Hospital because the care wasn't good enough, and that her son was now in Maryvale Hospital in the nearby town of Morwell. At that time, Maryvale Hospital was still being built, so there was no way that anyone could be taken there. Then, when Belinda asked Domaszewicz to take her to see Jaden in the hospital, he said she couldn't go because she was too drunk and they wouldn't let anyone in those conditions. So Belinda didn't realize her child was missing until a few hours after she went to sleep, believing that he was in the hospital. But police think that Domaszewicz's comments about Jaden being taken to the hospital were an attempt to cover up the fact that the child had died, even though later he said that he had made a bad joke about the child being hospitalized. Only little was known about what Domaszewicz did between 3 a.m. when he got home from Traralgon and 5 a.m. when he reported Jaden missing. He said he had been looking for Jaden alone because he had thought Jaden's kidnapping had been taken as a joke. Around 4 a.m., police stopped Domaszewicz and gave him a random alcohol breath test. At that time, Domaszewicz knew Jaden was missing, but decided not to tell police. From the start, it was hard to piece together what had happened to Jaden, because there were no witnesses and very little information. The fact that Domaszewicz's house had been broken into while he was on his way to pick up Belinda made things even more complicated. A severed pig's head had been left on the front lawn, and several windows of the house were smashed. Police quickly found out that Jaden's disappearance, the vandalism, and the people that did it had nothing to do with each other. Colin Lovett QC, Domaszewicz's defense lawyer, called them the Pig's Head Team. Police found out that the vandalism was a separate act of revenge against Domaszewicz. Police quickly found out that the brother of Domaszewicz's ex-girlfriend, Yvonne Penfold, was behind the vandalism, and that he allegedly did it to get back at Domaszewicz for being abusive towards Yvonne. After 2:30 a.m., the Pig's Head team became possible witnesses for the disappearance of Jaden. They told police and the media that they did not hear a child crying when they broke into the house. The sight of a cut-off pig's head where a child went missing led to early but unfounded rumors about satanic cult involvement, and is still talked about in the news as a symbol of the strange circumstances that surrounded Jaden's disappearance. Even though the Pig's Head team were quickly ruled out as suspects, both the media and true crime writers are still interested in them. Some of them say that the police should have looked into them more. Other people say that the Pig's Head team must have hurt Jaden accidentally when they were breaking into Domaszewicz's house, then kidnapped him to hide their involvement and killed him. Domaszewicz has said that Yvonne and the Pig Head team took Jaden as revenge for their failed relationship. When the police got involved, they got scared and killed the child, Domaszewicz said. Greg Domaszewicz was arrested and charged with the murder of Jaidyn Leskie on July 16, 1997, almost a month after Jaden went missing. Because Jaden's body wasn't found for another 5 months, most of the evidence against Domaszewicz was based on rumors. The police said that Jaden died somewhere in between the time he arrived at Domaszewicz's house and when Belinda left the hotel, which was about 6 hours. They said that Domaszewicz walked Jaden's body into the dam after he killed him, possibly accidentally. This theory is backed up by the fact that when police searched Domaszewicz's house, they found both his wet wallet and wet money under his mattress. The police said that these things were consistent with being in the water. Some of Jaden's bloody tissues were also found in the trash in Domaszewicz's house, but it wasn't thought to be a lot of blood. Domaszewicz denied right away killing Jaden. He said that the police were harassing him and had falsely accused him of the murder. He called his accusers dogs in the media, and later his defense lawyer would bring up these claims of harassment again. He also said that police illegally recorded conversations, that witness testimonies didn't add up, and that there was no physical evidence. More than 6 months after Jaden went missing, his body was found on January 1st, 1998, at Blue Rock Dam, 18 kilometers north of Mo. His body was wrapped in a sleeping bag and weighed down with a crowbar. The cold water of the lake stopped it from decomposing over the winter. About 200 meters from where Jaden's body was found, the police found a 2-meter crowbar, baby's boots, a bottle, a bib, and a sleeping bag. Forensic tests on Jaden's body showed that he had a broken arm that hadn't been bandaged properly, severe head injuries, and the drug benzhexol in his system. In order to solve this crime, a DNA test was run on the clothes Jaden was wearing. However, cross-contamination in the lab made this case even more confusing. Several people have said that Jaden's body showed signs of being older than when he went missing. This led to the idea that he was kidnapped and then kept alive for a few months after he was taken. But each of these claims has been disproven either by medical or scientific evidence, or is based on claims by anonymous witnesses that have not been proven. So then, was Domaszewicz found guilty? During Domaszewicz's murder trial, several witnesses claimed that Domaszewicz had been mean and violent to Jaden. But the coroner didn't say that Domaszewicz was solely responsible for Jaden's death because of a lack of evidence. So far, the coroner's report is the closest thing to a conclusion that the case has had. And on December 18th, Domaszewicz was found not guilty. It has been so many years, and the mystery of Jaidyn Leskie's disappearance still remains unsolved. What do you think happened? Let us know in the comments section, and we'll see you next time.